We do like a one take of just the summary. I usually don't do this, but I kind of want to read the summary since I can do it for the next two games as well because those scripts are already written. Röki is a stunning adventure set in the snow-capped wilderness. As Tove, you must explore an uncharted world of hidden legends and forgotten monsters, solve puzzles, collect curiosities, and uncover a tale of tragic loss as you chart your path to redemption. That was a summary by whoever made the summary. I don't really know who did. I'm not going to just be like, it is Polygon Treehouse because I don't really think it's really the most in-house thing. It's always somebody else. I mean, it could be somebody in-house. You don't really, like, I don't know. So, anyway, we're going to start. Hope you're all doing well. Loki. I've been playing a ton of puzzle games recently, and I played a ton of them last year. A lot of them weren't my cup of tea, which is why I haven't really talked about a lot of them. Also, a lot of the games I played weren't really big on the puzzle aspects. They were just games that had puzzles in them, rather than puzzle games. Now, rather the games that have some puzzles, than ones where all the aspects of the game is a puzzle. I do enjoy games like Endless Quest, but also dislike it because of how creative you can get with the choices. Now, this is probably the only gaming genre where I will say that I dislike when they have so much creative freedom. Again, this is the dumbest thing to say because I'd rather a game have as much creative freedom as possible, but puzzle games are different. I'm just someone that sucks when it comes to puzzle games because I overthink things and it just makes everything worse for me. But again, if there is a game that is like Endless Quest, but dumbed down for small brains like me, then I am happy. Thankfully, the game we are going to talk about today is exactly that. Now, Loki is nothing like Endless Quest in any way, and I can easily say that it has nothing in common with the game. I would say that this game has more in common with Blacktail than Endless Quest. The only thing I can relate it to would be the item system and combine the items together. But truthfully, that's about it. I have to say that the best thing about this game is that you can drag an item to the things you believe to be a solution. I realize a lot of people would see that to be a small addition or something that is standard, but I'm not used to that in a lot of games. But I do enjoy that this game wasn't easy, but also wasn't hard. The reason I say that is because with Endless Quest, I found myself having to go to a walkthrough because I just had so many items left to go through. Even though thinking back, I just kind of forgot about certain areas after going to it once. With this game, you kind of didn't really have a ton of places to go. Well, that's a lie. So unlike Endless Quest, you aren't trapped in a location until you're ready to jump to the next place. You're only locked in place during the absolute point of no return, which is why I like this game. I was able to explore this ever-changing world with my very short legs. That isn't something I would ever say since my legs aren't short anyway. But I guess after talking about the game mechanics, it's time to talk about the story. So this game follows two siblings with a very nomadic lifestyle in the forest. This game makes you believe that these kids grew up by raising each other, but that can't be ruled out. So first part of the game, you walk along the path back home with your little brother. He talks about seeing trolls on their bridge and always talks about seeing other creatures. But like most little kids, it's hard to pull him away from playing around. There's also when we have a little tutorial. It shows us how to run and pick up things. Again, this isn't an actual tutorial, but this is the closest one I could call one. But because of this opening, we get to know a little about these two siblings. But as you can tell, we pilot the other sibling, which is the sister Tove. The beauty of this game is that it shows us the family dynamics pretty early on. You have Tove, the older sister, that takes the younger brother around with her whenever he wants to do things. Do you have a father, which we see, but not in a flattering light. I can't really say if he is drunk when we see him, or if he is just tired from working. The main reason I say that is because he is seen sleeping in this chair, and there is a bottle located right by the chair. Kind of reminds me a lot of the typical TV fathers in a lot of sitcoms I watched growing up. But we also see that Tove takes care of all the housework, which includes the cooking. I have no idea if this is because of the old customs where the woman did everything in the household, or because she is the oldest child. Tove is the only woman in the house, so I'm guessing that is why she picks up most of the work. Throughout this, even when she's about to go to sleep, she has a small conversation with her father, where she tells him she left eggs for him to eat. You can tell from this exchange that this isn't the first time this has happened. Even seeing him in the chair, siblings just do their usual things before going to bed, kind of pushing resistance to the side. But like I said earlier, a lot is said without being said in the first portion of the game. The game doesn't fully start until a bit later, but I will continue talking about the beginning of this journey. After saying goodnight to the father character, we do our usual older sibling duties, which is trying to get our younger brother to bed. Like every child, he doesn't want to go to sleep. The only way we can actually get him to sleep is by reading him a story. The story has the opposite effect it intended by making her tired instead. I think my favorite part of this game was also the beginning of the journey, which I will term Baby Wants to Pee. Little brother wants to pee, and so, like the good sister she is, she wakes up to do her sibling duty. Now, if this was just an easy trek to the bathroom, I wouldn't have included this part into your review. You have to remember that you basically live in the forest. Well, I guess the term is middle of nowhere. You can only really eat things that can be gathered like eggs or things out in the forest. Your bathroom isn't even inside, but outside. Also, I'm gonna add this in, but not really add it. So, as you can tell, the artwork is the house. So that's the house, and its surrounding areas is basically where they live. So, as you can tell, it's very remote. There's no houses nearby. That house could be very, very far. It doesn't even look like a house. It looks like more of a cathedral, if anything. So, as you can tell, they don't live near people. I've hated outhouses for the longest time because of how claustrophobic it makes me feel. And I rather not just pee in a hole in the ground. But we have to take this little boy outside in the late night where there could be anything lurking out there. Now, there wasn't dangerous creatures out there, but ravens. Lots and lots of ravens. Now, I wouldn't say they are bothersome enough to stop me from peeing, but to a little boy, definitely. So you have to shoo away all the ravens in the path, so the little brother character can go pee. After we do all this, the game starts, and we see the truth of this world. The truth is that the things that the small child has been seeing is real. One of those things is nearby, and the game starts when we see the veil finally open up. We see this massive creature crashing down in the house, and enter a big chase scene that has us dealing with pretty heavy themes early on. But that is all I'll talk about in the story, or beginning for now. But yeah, this game talks about a lot of things without actually over explaining things. Gameplay is kind of just like Endless Quest, which you explore and solve problems or to solve your problems. Now, what is your purpose in this world? Well, this all relates to what I told you in the last section, which is getting back your family. I already said enough about the story, so use context clues on what happened. But you have one goal in this game, which is to save your family. But you aren't able to do all that just yet. You have to help out the world before you get help from the world. Like I said earlier, gameplay is just like in Endless Quest. But didn't explain that. You found different items in the world, picked them up, and then found out where these items went to. There are also items that you have to fuse together in order to solve some of the puzzles. The fun thing is that as we progress, through the game and help out a lot of characters we find in the world, you get to do more things. My favorite thing is adjusting the size of certain objects, but again, this isn't something you get till later on in the game. So don't worry about that. But my favorite part is exploring and finding the interesting characters that need help. The fun thing is that none of these characters are human, so don't expect any to show. I feel like this is shown because most would think that they are monsters, but these are creatures with their own set of problems. As you can tell, there isn't a ton of talking on gameplay, which is because gameplay for the most part is very simple. Use the items you find in the world and solve puzzles that don't really need solving. It doesn't, but you solve it so you can save your family and move forward in life. But in order to save your family, you have to wake up the guardians of the forest, which have been asleep for a long time. Now, it is up to you to find a way to wake them up, but it isn't something that happens quickly. You solve a ton of other problems in order to be able to wake up these guardians. There are also certain items that are needed that are hidden behind other quests, so you have to make sure to do everything possible before moving forward. The best part is that when you are waking up the Guardians, you learn a lot more about the family. It adds 4 layers to this family, and we learn a lot more about the villain in this game, also how connected everything is. So in this game, I wouldn't say that there is many evil characters. I have no idea why this is a thing in this game, but I have some ideas. So most believe the foreign beings or anything different to be evil or have bad intentions. Thankfully that doesn't happen since Tove had to seek help from the creatures around her. From trolls to frog-like creatures to fish-like beings to more trolls. Also something that I'm not used to, which is female trolls. I like the lore that they give us when it pertains to trolls, so we do meet a few. But all the characters have interesting personalities that are somewhat memorable. I would talk about them, but I actually want you to experience them on your own time because I feel like this game is something I would recommend. So no replayability section because you can get everything done in one playthrough. You can't really miss anything because you have to do everything in order to progress the story. The only thing you can miss out on is the collectibles. There's certain items in this game that are totally missable and don't affect your gameplay at all. They're added to a different part of the journal. By saying this is getting added, nothing else is really said about it. It was just something nice to see. We looked at the journal. Overall, I enjoyed the game a ton because of the characters and the story. The characters are interesting, a story which seems light, it's surprisingly dark. The only reason you would think the story was light was because of the animation. I like that the story kind of connects in a very weird but interesting way. We also find out the reason why the villain was doing evil, which, even though it was heartfelt, the pros don't outweigh the cons. You also get a lot more information on the situation and all the people that were involved with it. The game does a great job with remembering things and having everything relate to things you found in the world. Ending was also nice because it was just a wrap up from all the things that happened. Also, I can't say that there was really a good ending because not everyone gets what they want. I would say that it was a good ending because Tove gets what she wants and also is able to move past some trauma in her life. But this is one of the games I've been playing in my backlog series. I would have never played this game because it was so far down on my game list. I got the game in 2021, so it would be hard for me to actually get to it because of that. I feel like you should always do a backlog dive. Find a bunch of hidden gems in your backlog. Actually, that would be a good video idea. Games in my backlog that I would actually recommend. But as you can tell, I definitely recommend this game. Our style is cute, the story is serious and engaging, and I enjoyed the characters. Also, my favorite part is that the game was challenging, but rewarding. At parts, I felt that I searched everything, but then I did one more lap and found what I needed. Never had to look up walkthroughs like I did with Endless Quest, which I was happy about. I enjoyed not having to look up things in these puzzle games because these games make me feel dumb. I hope you enjoyed this review, and let me know if you plan to play. So let's play this game. My name is Incubus, and that's my time. I'll see you all soon. Later days. Oh, wait. I hope you have a great rest of your day and also a great week. Alright, love you all. Bye. Mwah. Saying kisses consensually. See you all soon. Love you all. Bye. Love you all. Peace. Bye. Love you. Peace.